Hi, this is Carolyn and Tonya, week 3, our second session, and I will go ahead and start. So, Tonya, I'm so glad you came back to our second session, and just as a brief overview, last week you came in for anxiety and shortness of breath and recently lost a job, and you told me that you lived by yourself. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And just to get a little bit better idea of your day-to-day life, can you describe to me your typical day?
Well, I normally try to wake up around like 9, but normally it's been around 10 recently. I get up, I sometimes eat breakfast and sometimes don't, and I'll look on the internet and for jobs, and then I always look at my bank account and realize that my money is dwindling, and then I watch the clock, and probably around like noon, 12:30 is when I have my first drink.
Okay. And what do you usually drink?
Wine. It's cheap.
Okay.
It's available.
And do you eat after 12 o'clock, or do you stick to the wine?
I'm trying to save my money, so I would rather spend my money on food, or on wine than food right now.
Okay. And what issue is the main concern that you're experiencing right now?
Anxiety.
Okay. And can you describe what it feels like when you're becoming anxious?
Well, I start to sweat. It starts in my forehead, and then I get to my palms, and I just start sweating, and then I start feeling nauseous where I'm going to throw up, but then I just feel like I can't move, and I just sit there and feel nauseous, and I'm sweating.
And how often does this happen throughout the day?
It's been happening about 3 or 4 times a day.
Okay. And is it about the same intensity, or are sometimes better than others? Or are your symptoms pretty much similar each time?
It just depends on what I'm doing at the time.
Okay.
How severe they are, or how less they are.
And do you know what usually triggers these feelings of anxiety?
Thoughts about I should be working right now. I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills. I don't know how I'm going to buy food.
Okay, so when you start thinking about your financial situation and how you're going to afford your basic needs, that usually brings on these feelings of anxiety that include shortness of breath and nauseous and sweat to your palms and other areas?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you want to work on specifically in this session? How can I best help you?
I hate feeling anxious. I hate feeling like I can't move. I hate feeling like I'm going to be sick, and I hate feeling like the world's going to crash down around me. So I want to work on that.
Okay, so these feelings that the world is going to crash down and everything's going to fall apart?
Yes.
Okay. And what have you tried in the past whenever you have felt this way?
Wine.
Okay. And how has that worked for you so far?
After about two glasses of wine, sometimes like 3 glasses of wine, I don't tend to think, and I'm able to not be anxious or be scared anymore.
Okay, so it sounds like you're using the wine to avoid your situation and avoid thinking about your situation.
That's the only thing I know how to do. Like, I try talking to my family, I try talking to my friends, and they're just sick of me being so negative, as they say, and I just don't know what to do. So that's just seems to be the one thing that helps me right now.
Okay, so I know I can't control your finances and your ability to find a job. So what I would like to work on, if it's okay, to deal with these feelings of anxiety and how to kind of control your thoughts a little bit better. So, like I asked you last week, I wanted you to kind of think about what caused your anxiety and when you felt these feelings, and you did a wonderful job by thinking about that this past week and giving me a great description of, you know, these feelings like 3 or 4 times a day. And the triggers are being, you know, thinking about your financial situation and how you're going to support yourself. So when I have to go in my throat. Okay, so don't mind if I'm taking notes just so I can recollect everything and make sure that I'm keeping track. So if you ever feel uncomfortable, just let me know. If you want to read my notes at the end, that's fine with me. Just let me know if you feel uncomfortable, because I can see you, you know, looking down at my paper, which is okay. You know, just let me know if you need to see anything. I just want to make sure I'm getting everything down. Okay, so in your opinion, you want to reduce these feelings of anxiety, and we're going to, how can we do that here in this session?
I don't know. I guess I can find something that'll take my mind off of what I'm anxious about, or maybe I can be able to think of ways that I can pay my bills and get a job and not have to have these fears anymore.
Okay, so you can go ahead and make a list of, you know, different things that you can work on this upcoming week, and we will also discuss different ways that different things that you can do once you start thinking about these issues of your finances and all those other things that trigger your anxiety. So for this next week, I would like you to think about how, no, it's not what I want. Let me see. What is something that you like to do that takes your mind off of things?
Drink.
Okay. Is there anything else outside of drinking?
Well, I used to like spend time with my family and friends, but they don't take my phone calls anymore.
Okay. And let's see. Let's do, whenever you start becoming anxious of your feelings of anxiety, I want you to count from 1 to 10 and then clear your mind and just try not to think about anything. And so, you know, it's what we call thought stopping. So once you start thinking about all these finances, if you realize that you're thinking about this, just take a pause and count 1 to 10, and then think about something outside of what may trigger your anxiety. And then next week we'll go back and reflect on that and see if that has helped at all. And also, I want you to keep a tally of how many times you think about these situations of you becoming anxious about your finances and getting another job and paying rent and all these other things that you mentioned to me, and just make a tally, and then we'll be able to review it next session, and we can see if we're making any progress on that stopping task. Okay?
Okay.
And does that sound something that you can do?
That sounds doable.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I'm very glad that you came back to see me, and that you were able to complete the last homework task from last week. So, you know, I'm really proud of you for doing that. It shows a lot of courage and a lot of dedication. So I can tell that you are very dedicated to making these changes to reduce these uncomfortable situations. So thank you, Tonya. You have a good rest of the day, okay?
Okay.